It was supposed to be a normal day. A family of four, a state park, and a trail they likely walked before. Clinton and Cristen Brink were spending time with their two young daughters on a warm July afternoon, hiking through the calm, forested beauty of Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas. There was nothing out of the ordinary, no warning, no signs, just nature, peace, and the kind of quality time most families crave. But that calm was shattered in the most brutal way imaginable. Somewhere deep in the woods, someone was watching, and what happened next would send shockwaves through the nation. July 24th, 2025, a Thursday. The Brinks arrived at Devil's Den sometime in the early afternoon. Nestled in the Ozark National Forest, the park is known for its scenic hiking trails, lush rock formations, and quiet streams. For the Brink family, it was meant to be a peaceful escape. Clinton and Cristen, both in their mid-30s, were known to be active, outdoorsy parents. Their daughters, ages 7 and 9, were bubbly, adventurous, and always up for a hike. They picked the Yellow Rock Trail, a moderately difficult 3-mile loop with stunning overlooks. But sometime around 5 p.m., somewhere between two bends in the trail, something went terribly wrong. Details are chilling and difficult to hear, but they must be told. According to police reports and statements from their surviving daughters, the family was ambushed. A man emerged suddenly from a wooden side path, catching them completely off guard. He didn't speak, he didn't demand anything. He simply attacked. Clinton, without hesitation though, stepped in front of his daughters. Cristen did the same. They tried to fight him off with their bare hands, but it wasn't enough. Both parents were stabbed multiple times in front of their children. It was fast, frenzied, and senseless. And just like that, Clinton and Cristen Brink were gone, their bodies left on the forest floor, while their daughters ran for their lives. Injured and hysterical, they somehow made it to the trailhead, where they were found by a hiker who immediately called 911. The suspect had vanished without a trace. Within hours, Arkansas State Police launched a full-scale investigation. A manhunt swept through the park and surrounding areas. Helicopters, dogs, rangers, and forensic teams flooded the scene. The surviving children, the only witnesses, were traumatized, but through tears and broken sentences, they described the man who had killed their parents, a white male possibly in his 30s, wearing a cap and hiking gear. Medium built, scuffy. His face is etched into their memory forever. A composite sketch was released to the public. Tips came in. Some were promising, most were not. And yet, the case felt cold before it had even begun. With no known motive, no surveillance footage, and no obvious connection between the family and the attacker, investigators feared there was a random act of violence, the hardest kind to solve. That fear hung into the air for days. Then came a breakthrough. Forensic scientists working the crime scene recovered touch DNA, skin cells left on one of the victim's clothes. That DNA was run through a national database and was in what came back stunned everyone. It matched a man named Andrew James McGann, 28 years old, from Springdale, Arkansas. He wasn't a known criminal. He wasn't a fugitive. In fact, he was a substitute teacher, quiet, unremarkable, and to most people invisible. On July 30th, less than a week after the murders, police located McGann at a local barbershop. He didn't run, he didn't even seem surprised. After being taken into custody, he confessed to the killings. No motive, no explanation, just silence. Authorities later searched his home and found a journal filled with disturbing writings, blood-stained clothing, and survival gear. It was as if he had been prepared for something or running from himself. Megan's background paints a confusing picture. No significant criminal record, no diagnosed mental illness on file. But former colleagues from the school system described him as withdrawn, unpredictable, and deeply isolated. He often talked about control, solitude, and the feeling of being unseen. He was the kind of person who could disappear into the woods for days and no one would check on him. Whether this was a targeted act or the result of psychological breakdown remains uncertain. What we do know is that McGann is now charged with 2 counts of capital murder. He's being held without bond in Washington County, awaiting trial. Prosecutors are expected to pursue the maximum penalty. The daughters, who are now with extended family, will not have to testify. Their statements and the DNA were enough. The Devil's Den Trail is open again, and there is a memorial now that sits near the spot where Clinton and Cristen fell. Their daughters, they survived because of them, and though no amount of justice will bring them back, their bravery and their sacrifice and their love will never be forgotten, for sure. Thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you for watching my crime video. And thank you for my new subscribers. And thank you so much for my old subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that bell button below so that you all can be aware when I come out with new videos. So you all take care. And God bless you, and see you next time in the next video. Bye for now.